And we are back. I'm pretty sure. I don't have a screen share over on my side, but we are back here as far as at DeSalle University for some more of our conference championship action. Just got through our Overwatch side of things, getting ready to move into Rocket League. It's going to be best of 7 here, as we do have Boyertown looking to hold it down against CB South.
Boyertown, one of those rare Rocket League teams that also is going for perfection as they're trying to completely sweep through. And I say that because it is difficult to be without even a single game loss in Rocket League. We talk about maps, we talk about series, and Rocket League can be a bit more versatile. Like, you obviously have teams that are really, really good. It's the same game all the time, different mechanics you use throughout those games, but game type doesn't change. It's soccer. It's Rocket League. Boyertown's trying to be perfect. CB South in a position that they were not in the spring, and that's existing in a playoff form. So the Titans trying to be Titanic against the Bears.
So it's going to be interesting. This is CB South's first of 3 D1 titles that they're going to get a chance at here today, and I think one of 4, because I think
they are doubled up in
Marvel Rivals.
Oh, no, Valorant.
Is it Valorant?
Yeah.
Valorant, they're going to have a couple of cracks at it. So should be a lot of fun here as we do get ready to roll into it. Boyertown, we were talking about it a little bit. A team that I don't want to say came out of left field, but I think last year everyone's eyes were really kind of set between Forest Hills and Biglerville's top squad. That really no one behind them really got talked about much. Boyertown has been the one who has since emerged from the field as those two Titans, at a lack of better terms, stepped away from the field last year.
They were able to get past the secondary team of Biglerville in round number 1, and then they were on a collision course with the would-be and ultimately state champion of D1 and Biglerville Elite. So they got a double dose of Bigler, and then they're like, you know what? We want to be bigly. They want to be hugely. And so they ended up becoming that in this division of play. So we're to D1 style, and they're going to try and crack open basically this entire can in front of everyone here for the end point of the season and as well as the year. CB South, I think, has a tall task in front of them to try and take down and slow the roll of these cars out of Boyertown.
It could be a fun series here, as it is going to be, as I mentioned, best of 7, so a little bit longer of a series, and it does look like there ain't no more time to talk about it. It's time to be about it. Let's go ahead and take to the pitch for game number 1.
Biggest thing about Rocket League is establishing pace of play as well as general control when it comes to possession, and that's something that Boyertown has done very well, generally speaking. But Central Bucks South, this is a program that has gone very deep in every single title going into the fall, which means that their exceptional coaching as well as their administration has decided to invest. And right now, upfield is where the Titans invest themselves.
I can't help but wonder if over on the side of the orange half of the pitch here for CB South, does the D1 Rocket League team feel like they're the ones responsible for setting the tone for all of the Titan squads that are competing for titles today? I can tell you, for one, as someone who's sitting right next door to the Esports lab here in the production room, they're already getting excited after goal number 1.
I just heard a Titan growl. I don't know if that is like, I think that was supposed to be reserved for bears, but apparently Greek I guess challengers can do much the same. So first on the board is CB South, and considering the pathway that they've taken to get here, it would be quite the undertaking if they were to finally put a negative mark against Boyertown. And so far they have done it through relentless effort and pressure, but this next one will be denied.
So pressure towards the blue net as CB South looks to add to their tally. It'll be a quick visit into the orange half. It's popped up. It's a double whiffy fakie, as it will be left for Big's wheels. Depth 7 looks to fire the shot from distance, rings off with a post follow-up. Nowhere near a umph on it. So a bag of Skittles looks to pick it up in the corner. Unsuccessful in that regard. It does feel like the Titans are on the attack for quite a bit of this first 90 seconds.
Yeah, honestly, you've seen a lot of responding from out of the Bears, but no dictating of general pace, and it's been pretty clean up until that moment we saw just a second ago, as Depth 7 as well as BGZ Wheels end up finding a connection between one another, and it went offline. So finally a look of luster begins to shine for the side of the Bears. It's a minute 45 here in game number 1, trying for a short pop, and Waff does not whiff.
WAF will be able to find the equalizer. We're not even into the game number 1 by 2 minutes. Both teams have been able to strike the back of the net. I feel like Rocket League, in much terms like a lot of traditional sports, is about seeing that first point on the board, right? That first score lets you know you're into the swing of things, especially when you're here on land. It'll be up to WAF to try and get out of the defensive half, left off for a bag of Skittles. It'll move things towards the midfield line, popped up, and here's WAF coming in for the shot, but a whiff comes across.
Oh, this is an awkward moment, and it's going to be slammed home. Ryder puts this one away. This is the second time in a row that has rendered a score whenever you have basically Titans just kind of double committing and not connecting to a ball that's left for an opportunist from out of the Bears.
It's a tough situation to find yourself in. 2 defenders go up, neither one of them finding the touch, leaves the ball in a very precarious situation there after that. Still plenty of time to find a response if you are the Titans here from CB South. They will have to start with finding a defensive stop. It's a little bit of friendly fire. It allows for the pressure to be kept towards the net, at least even if it is just for a moment here. Now it's Boyertown going the other way.
You're starting to see the nervous shakes happen from both these teams, playing slow and playing again with a chance for what loose ball is going to just basically narrow its way into the orange stripes, and that's exactly where Boyertown is going to capitalize again. This was just off of the crossbar. They are finding themselves retroactively going to defense, so CB South not in a good position, and Boyertown, it's that same exact part of the net 3 times in a row they capitalize.
Halfway through game number 1, they find themselves in the lead by 2, and it does feel like the pressure slowly starting to turn more and more in favor of the boys in blue. Nice cycle to send it down into the orange half. Here a bag of Skittles pops it up, has the assistance from WAF. Won't quite find its way under the crossbars. Now it will be Shady looking to send it down to the opposite side of the pitch. Was looking towards the net, but the first look will be denied.
Finally, CB South looking to get back into the same driver's seat as well as just way they want to play, which is taking away clean possession from Boyertown. And this is so far been very clean from out of WAF, as he's having to navigate across the front face of his net. Not a thing that you want to have to do often. He does so with confidence and a kind of a fake out to keep wheels screaming forward, and this will not present an opportunity for the Bears to move back up the pitch. That's taken away momentarily. Now it's the awkward double commit defense in the corner.
So pressure towards the net. WAF first one up, double touch. Yes, sir. That's on your head, boy, as Boyertown will be able to put themselves up by 3 with 91 seconds to play. 2 players, matter of fact, up on that one. Put it on a highlight reel.
That one was tough because Wheels had just barely turned up into that front side post after his teammate was already right in front of him. That basically means that nothing is defensible from the opposite side because no other player was ready for that defensive rotation. Now 90 seconds. Now less than that as CB South and the Titans, they start off very fast. One solid mistake, though, and Boyertown has been able to just move up and up and up.
Other than that one goal, it doesn't really feel like we've seen much pressure down on the blue half of the field here from Central Buck South. Probably still scratching their heads a little bit, trying to figure out what it's going to take to be able to build up that pressure towards the net. Meanwhile, WAF looking towards the middle. A bag of Skittles will end up touching that one back towards the side wall, but it does not prevent WAF from taking back up towards the skies. The flip reset up over 1, but it will eventually be shut down.
WAF is laughing his way to the bank right now with just free possession and free opportunistic touches to continuously keep CB South Titans at arm's reach and just completely locking them away from chances to maybe begin moving up into offense. So half a minute remaining. Boyertown Bears, they saw one go away and then they kept themselves cool-headed. They were able to move forward and take advantage of what was given to them, and apparently it was 4 goals and maybe even more.
If you're Central Buck South, maybe you can find yourself something to build upon here going into game number 2. WAF will deny that look and rises high up into the sky. Def finds the clear, now looking to chase it down for the second effort, but Ryder sticks a nose in there and will be able to take it away, even if it's but for a moment. Allows for Boyertown to keep things pinned back on the orange half. The clock strikes 0, and game number 1 will officially conclude with a Boyertown dub here 4-1.
This one drops into CB South territory. That's something that they've got to fix, and they've got to do it in a hurry. Every time this rotated corner side, especially to that front side post of the Titans, everything about the rotation just broke down. They were coming in from that front side post. No one was going to middle or even backside net, and they were on top of each other. Early on, everything looked fantastic, and that field domination is now kind of a different statistic at the bottom of your screen because they dominated the first minute and a half. Everything from there, though, was the Bears.
It's crazy to think that you've got darn near 60% of the field domination, but you were outshot in that sort of capacity, where WAF by themselves meeting the shot output of the Titans as an entirety. I think the big thing that really stands out to me is the speed at which Boyertown was playing, consuming darn near 2,000 extra boost over the course of the game. And you know, for sometimes playing fast is one thing, under control is something else. Boyertown seeming to have a nice healthy balance of the two, which just seemed to make the Central Buck South squad a little uncomfortable.
The thing that made CB South great was making sure the Bears did not get an easy route to the ball. WAF looked like they took control of that game themselves to assure their team that they would be in safe hands. So if you need to make someone uncomfortable, it's got to be WAF. WAF is a very mechanical player. Looks like that they are going to at least be able to flourish in times of adversity. And also, you can't have a one-man deep situation if you're the Titans on offense. Boyertown is able to escape early.
No first initial attack, at least coming to the back of the net here for Boyertown, but they do still have the possession and the control. Down on this orange half. Nice job by a bag of Skittles to be able to pop that one up. WAP with the double tap in the corner. Looking to center one towards the middle for Ryder. No success in that regards. It requires a bag of Skittles down the defensive side to make sure they shut down the first initial look here from CB South. The second look, however, will keep the pressure back. Depth, it's a pass towards the middle. Shady was there, but unfortunately the defense gets there first.
Look how many players are chasing from out of Boyertown. This is an opportunity that the Central Buck South Titans cannot look narrowly upon. They must continue to press forward because all of them were on top of one another. Look at the change up by WAF, though. WAF is able to immediately dagger down, deny them from getting to that wall side of the outside perimeter. Now WAF is going to find it in open waters. Good challenge from out of Shoddy. See if he can at least deny WAF an early look. Ryder has been his right-hand man to see what he can do. And so far, it's just a lot of launching the ball and seeing what comes next.
First 90 seconds gone by. We're still tied at zeros. That's an interesting perspective there to head it towards your net. I think was looking for a potential psycho off of the backboard. Just didn't get enough of it to send it high enough. And depth 7 will be able to punish that mistake. And CB South take their first lead.
I mean, to give the tiniest bit of credit and merit there, it did look like that they were trying to come back to that ball. But a kickoff mistake, that's an easy one. It does end up being a second goal for CB South. They can capitalize on mistakes much like Boyertown can.
Shoddy able to take the lead and double it down for the CB South side, and finding themselves up by 2 here with about 100 seconds gone by. And while sure you can look up at the top middle part of your screen and say, hey, plenty of time for this Boyertown squad. What if they find a third? I thought Shoddy was going to be able to do so there, but just a tad bit high.
Didn't think that it would go perfectly into the pocket, and so they've jumped a little bit later. This one's still in a weird spot for Boyertown, and this is the most awkward situation that they've probably been in all season long, as CB South is currently, with 2:58 left on the clock, threatening to give them their first game lost on the entirety of the fall. It's the challenge game. Look at this one, Q. They're already on top of them. Depth 7 has really stepped up to the plate to make the Bears uncomfortable.
Series of Rocket League almost acts like a game of tug of war, where both teams have to make their adjustments as far as their game plan to try and walk away with the dubski. It feels like heading into game number 2, CB South has been able to do just that. They have been quite locked in as well. Remember in game 1, it felt like most of the visits down into that blue half of the territory were relatively limited. Not only that, But here in game number 2, it feels like their defense has come with a different level of aggression.
I mean, and also just a different level of acuity. Hold that thought, though. WAF will be able to at least dissect through them. And the thing that we were commenting on is that they were not letting these loose ball plays go freely over to Boyertown. But WAF, he's just gonna completely disrespect it, follow the ball bounce, and wait for that same chance, but more expeditiously, because CB South has given those up before. This time he creates his own offense.
Able to take the lead and cut it in half as Boyertown. 2:05 left as WAF looks to get fancy with it high in the sky. That one will be denied. A bag of Skittle looks to retreat back to their defensive half and should be able to get the possession here with the assistance of Ryder. Will be popped up high as Biggs will look to at least keep things pinned back inside the blue half, but as Depth 7 reaches forward, it means there's space here for WAF. Has room to work with, but it's a great job here by Shoddy to poke it away as Central Buck South continue to lock in on D.
WAF trying to challenge at least for this midfield position. He kind of over-rotates. I believe that was in front of Ryder. He's aiming to kind of ego challenge into the last 2 defenders, and Boyertown just sees it as open space, and Central Buck South, they just need to make connections. Depth 7 has to dodge his own teammate. Everyone's squirrely and swirling around into this corner. CB South needs to get a little bit cleaner, so they will give themselves some time. We have 70 seconds left on the board. This is not a comfortable spot for Boyertown. They can't just leave it into their own back half.
Longer that CB South can keep them pinned back, even if it is 5, 7, 11 seconds at a time. It's time that dwindles away for this Boyertown squad as they do look to try and set up some semblance of offense down on this attack. It'll be Shoddy, picks it up off of the sidewall, runs out of boost to work with, but is at least able to chip it forward. Requires the attention of a second defender. WAF says Kablamo, takes one offender out of the play, but the defense unable to take over the possession as more of that time just continues to tick off.
CB South trying to do what no one else could throughout the entirety of the regular season, nor the medium playoff bracket in the semifinals, and that's take a game off the Bears. Challenging from downtown was Shoddy. Depth 7 believed in it. He steps up a little bit too soon. Can they be able to get this ball before Ryder's able to get a chance at it? They try to crack through this defense. 10 seconds approaching Q before we see the Titans do what no one else could.
Can the Bears bleed? 6 seconds away from seeing just that. Can you take the first game? From there, it's just about being able to duplicate that success, and the Titans are able to take to the pitch in game number 2 and even the series back out.
Who knows? Maybe we get another Remember the Titans moment. Could this be where Boyertown bends and breaks? They do flex, at least a little bit. CB South gets 2 goals off of a couple of rotational mistakes, one included being the second goal from that kickoff, and Boyertown definitely looking much more mortal than they did during the regular season.
Seeming to have taken the fangs out of the Bears here. I mean, 2 shots is all we saw after they had quite a bit. I think they were up to 9, I think, in game number 1. So to see that quite a substantial turnaround has to have them just a little bit worried here. Doesn't look like they're waiting the whole 60 seconds, though. It looks like all 6 players want to take right back to the pitch. We'll put zeros on either side of the clock. Hang 5 minutes on hang 5 minutes on the clock and get down to it. But Depth 7 doesn't even need 10 seconds to hang another one over on that CB South side.
Jeez, Depth 7 is going DEPCON 5, just making sure everyone's on alert, but no one is prepared, especially WAF as the last linesman, his first teammate that was nearest to that challenge, couldn't get a piece of it. No one was prepared for the backdoor merchant of Depth 7. They may have a chance to set him up yet again, but a demo. WAF is not going to let him have another opportunity.
No chance. This is what they've got, at least there. As now it's going to be a bag of Skittles who looks to go the opposite way with it. 2 players in the corner means Shoddy has to be the one to rise up. Does get caught down by the bar, but Depth 7 picks it up and looking to go coast to coast, turn defense into offense, but it's a big save here for Boyertown.
A clean defense and a solid rotation, and suddenly Boyertown looks like little bears instead of big bears. Something is different. CB South has gotten right into the grill of Boyertown, and when they do, it is a great weakness. You're going to see WAF trying to take this one himself. He's looking for a double tap. Can't complete the run. Doesn't need to if his teammate can get there. A second look, a second whiff. Oh, 1 minute goes by, and we still have a 1-0 here for the Titans.
Goes across here as Biggs wheels. Was gonna be able to at least keep the pressure down on this Boyertown side. It's now another minute that's gone by for Boyertown, where they have yet to find a goal. They've been able to at least extend a couple of their possessions, but it feels like CB South's defense have done a much better job in games 2 and 3 of being able to send things towards the outside of the field. It's Depth 7 who keeps it alive inside of the blue half. Boyertown seems to be feeling this pressure a little bit.
Boyertown is overextended, and they just feel they're just not collecting the ball. This has been so many looks. Look how many times Boyertown is together as a 3-man group instead of spreading this field at all. This pitch feels narrow if you were a bear. It feels like a cage. It feels like a zoo. Boyertown is a wild animal, but they have been defanged, like you mentioned. The Titans trying to at least assure one more, and Wheels will get a second to go.
Well, if it keeps going at this rate, it's going to be bad news, Bears, soon enough, as Biggs Wheels finds a way to punch this one home. Oh, a bag of Skittles. We've all been there. The lip just finding a way to knock you up off your wheels in a way that you can't regather the control. It's a 2-goal lead for now, but WAF very quickly takes this lead and cuts it in half.
No, I mean, it was a 2-goal lead, and unfortunately for Depth 7, his turn and trying to spin that way just does not move your car fast enough. So physics is a subject matter in high school, and it's also something that we have a subject for Rocket League, so it does pay off. Looking for this one to go right back through. Shoddy will get credit. I think that went off the face of WAF.
WAF said, you don't get to score that one. I score that one. If anyone's going to put it in my net, it's going to be me. Was surely trying to knock that one high there, but unfortunately does not quite find its mark. There's still 3 minutes left to play here in game number 3, but this is a pivotal game number 3, especially if it does continue to go in the way that it has through the first 2 minutes. For CB South, while they might have dropped a close game number 1, they have seemingly taken control here in this last game and a half.
CB South went 2 and 3 through the regular season with a -3 game differential. This is a team that has had to be scrappy. They had to play to less than 500, but they are being maximized. A complete flip and mirror of the score from game 1 to 3, 4-1 over the Bears.
I don't know who it is that's making all the noise next to it, but I am loving it. They seem pumped up on the CB South side, and they are making sure that Boyertown hears it every time they find the lace. It's a bag of Skittles who will send it deep into the corner. It'll be WAF with the opportunity, tink off of the post, but it will bend up back into the corner. One more chance towards the net as Shoddy finds the save.
Tracking him down, WAF is unable to get the boost, but gets the demo, so he's going to hard reset this rotation from out of the Titans. Now, if I've ever seen teams do something, it's give up a lead. 4-1 is a nice one, but still, if you are Central Bucks, you must play cleanly. They are chasing them into the deep corners, which means they want their boost, and they want to keep them completely on edge as to who the next man up is going to be. Where's the next striker? That's the problem. Just when they're grouped up, they're looking solid, but Boyertown, as soon as they separate, they don't have someone to finish the job.
Have to find a way to capitalize on small mistakes like that one, especially in a series that's as close as this. If you're Boyertown, 100 seconds is plenty enough time to find the back of the net 3 times, but it does mean you've got to hold the line on the defensive side, as it will be Biggs Wheels back onto the attack. It's a pass towards the middle. Shoddy rises up. WAF able to get past 1. You're past 2 defenders, but it's Depth 7 who comes up huge and goes right back onto the attack for CB South.
WAF on the miss on that boost rather, and now he's going to be an empty tank, and basically everyone with nothing save Ryder, but Ryder's going to be out-rotated by WAF. They're going to put a softball just behind Ryder, who has to be the next man up to be responsible for this possession. He does so out to midfield. Good sweep to just push it past Biggs Wheels, but a bag of Skittles is caught in a reverse rotation from out of the back half of Central Bucks. That's going to be a bowling ball, and now they're going to do game 1 better, finding 5.
Well, it's an awkward one that crosses here for goal number 5. I mean, insult to injury, I guess, surely, but I think with the 4-1 scoreline where it was sitting already entering into the final minute of play, I'm sure Boyertown had already all but accepted their defeat. Is there a way to add a 6th here for Depth 7? That shot's high. Shoddy looks to slot that one, but a great job by WAF to shut it down.
Boyertown's going to need a mental reset after this game number 3. Something has just been eating behind the brainstem, and it's not going to give them some clear thoughts. So they've got to take themselves at least maybe a timeout of sorts. They rushed into this game 3 thinking that they would be able to just find some of that momentum that they had before, but it's not been the same. A double win commit between WAF and a bag of Skittles. Desperation, you hear the yelling, you've been mentioning it, and I'm thinking the mental and mechanical warfare is absolutely clearly being won by the Titans.
Yeah, it does seem that's the case. WAF will at least be able to silence the opposition, albeit just for a moment, because of course CB South are still up by 3. That's really more of a cosmetic goal than anything, but I think an important one at that for Boyertown, who reminds themselves exactly who they've been all semester long.
Yeah, because otherwise the only other goal that they had was one from a kickoff.
Yeah.
That was just found by WAF, so this one's a true offensive goal, but still in garbage time, how much does it really do against the Titans? Titans, they're going to do twice infinite more than what anyone else did before in the fall regular season. They're going to be up 2-1. Remember, it's a best of 7, not a BO5. There's still a lot more time, but Boyertown has got to get themselves in order right now.
See, this is always the struggle when you have the perfect semester, right? Because you either keep the perfect semester for the entirety. I'm almost wondering if what we're hearing might be Ephrata, who's also in the building right now playing Valorant, technically over on the Waynesburg stream. Because that yell was nothing at all having to do with this game. The other ones have been perfectly timed.
Unless it was a coordinated yell.
It could very well.
It was like, yeah.
But as we do get ready for game number 4, but Boyertown, they have been in this situation where they've always been up. They've never been playing from behind. This is an interesting spot to find yourself in, that because now you do have the extra feelings of a LAN. You've got the team on the other side that you can hear getting more and more excited with every goal. If I'm Boyertown, I need to win here. I am not trying to rely on having to win back to back to back.
No, and also when you're looking at kind of total touches, which in turn kind of begets possession from that score chart there, you're seeing obviously a lot of WAF, but in total of possession and touches, you're seeing a lot more from Boyertown, but it was Central Bucks that took it away. This time around, look at the takeaway from WAF. My man just flashes the mechanics.
It's a great play here to be able to make this over 3 players. Everyone left scratching their head, and a huge play for Boyertown. Can that be the catalyst for the Bears to put themselves back into things? Depth 7 will be able to settle it down. Big's wheels, not enough gas in the tank to really make a play towards that one, and now all of a sudden it's Boyertown going the other way. WAF with a pass to the middle, bag of Skittles dunks it home, and that's 2 goals in the opening 20 seconds of play in game number 4.
Pretty sure that's the fastest couple of goals we've had so far through our 4 games of play. So Boyertown leaving that previous game as the previous game. Game 1 is not game 2, is not game 3, is not game 4. Different beasts, different definitions, different identities. For CB South, that's not what they want that to be. That's a free net. If anyone is already airborne, maybe a chance to give it to a teammate, but they don't have a follow-up man in time.
Feels like that's one you have to be able to punish if you are CB South. And it said, walking away without a tally. Here's bag of Skittles rising to the sky. Won't be able to find the touch onto that one. First step up from the defense, not going to be able to find it. Smart either. The double commit, however, might just allow an open opportunity. Shoddy looks to put one on the net, but that sails wide.
That was a couple times where Boyertown was hitting the ball in favor of CB South. They got to clean that one up. It looks like CB South, their defense has gotten a little bit better, but offensively, they're just not ready for what's being offered to them, and apparently it's some freebies. No one is here for Boyertown except for WAF, who is going end to end, side to side, coast to coast with nothing in the tank until finally now they're looking to double tap away from their own net. That's actually much harder to do than you really think.
Not gonna be able to find it there, but I think the confidence to be able to pull something off like this lets you know just how skilled our players are out on the pitch here currently. Depth 7, awkward pinch. We'll keep it down inside this blue half. Here is WAF now looking to exit out of the blue side for Boyertown. Intercepted around the midfield line by Depth 7. Central Bucks still looking for their first goal here in game 4.
I'm starting to believe in your theory that Ephrata is absolutely screaming their heads off. I don't know what's going on, but someone is going to have a new voice pace after this one, or a lack thereof. 2 goals though, and believe it or not, only 2 minutes have gone by. It feels like a YouTube tutorial, and it's taking forever to just get past the ad read. That one will go awkward. Central Buck South trying to turn this one right back around, but look at the huge arc. It actually has an orange one and a chance for WAF to turn it into 3.
That's a big goal to continue to add to your tally. It starts with a big old clear from Ryder, and while maybe that one doesn't find its way in because of the defense's inability to field it off of their backboard, it leaves the biscuit in front of the basket, and that's going to be good eats each and every time. There's still a whole half to play here for Central Buck South, and it feels like if you're going to turn things around, it has to start here. But when you miss an open net, that's a big old feels bad, bruh.
I mean, that was a tough angle to have to approach because they needed to do it very quickly, and so you must try to find it. They do so a little bit more accurately, but unfortunately for Central Bucks, it also found a defender. Now everyone's pretty low except for Ryder, and once you get some the boost in the tank of Ryder, he's pretty sound with it. Unfortunately for him, it ends up being Dominus things, and it goes right around that tight angle of that flat car. 3-0 to 10, and as I just state numbers, Central Buck South is trying to find their first one. They might be able to do it here. Teammate puts it away. Shoddy will finally get him on the board.
Turning defense into offense, quick, fast, and in a hurry here are the Titans, and it really does take teamwork to make the dream work. It's a clearing outlet pass to depth 7, who then finds Shoddy in the open field, and, well, that's textbook right there. That'll be the first one in game number 4 here for Central Buck South. They'll need to hold the line and at least find 2 to force an overtime.
I like the repositioning from out of depth 7. Didn't overcommit to trying to challenge out of that corner. Less than 2 minutes to go, but that's a lot of time. And for Boyertown, they need to make sure that they continue to play clean. They literally let WAF off the leash, and they try to continue to let him have mechanical moments. That's going to drop into a dangerous spot. They're screaming down upon it. Depth 7 will give their life, but not for much.
Well, here's WAF up and in the sky. 90 seconds left, looking to add to a 4th. Left it off in depth 7th, able to read it to find the save, but it's still pressure forward here for the Bears, as it will be Shoddy. First touch, looking to find the clear. Unsuccessful in that regards. Bag of Skittles high in the sky will at least make sure the first look to flip the field slows down here for Central Buck South. They're pinned back here yet again. Ryder looking to fire a shot on the target, but the CB South defense steps in huge.
It looks like they're just trying to make sure those gaps do not present themselves at all for CB South to be looking downfield. Depth 7, he's got a teammate in Shoddy, an early challenge by WAF, and that's exactly what WAF is returning to Cinder from the way CB South was playing in game number 1 and number 2. Challenge early, don't let them have that space, and Boyertown is playing a 2-man deep rotation so that even if he overcommits, they still have someone to fill that back line. That's a great shot. 2 defenders will answer.
I guess Skittles keeps the pressure down here. We're at 30 seconds left here in game number 4. If you are going to tie things up, it feels like the first has to be here, and it has to be in a sort of attack that goes coast to coast with it. It can't be one where a save leaves it in front of the basket where it easily gets dunked on in, and instead that is exactly what happens. And if it wasn't already done, that will spell curtains for game 4.
This is the second time now that Boyertown has 4-1'd over the Titans out of CB South, but they will be tying the series 2-2. Boyertown was given a scare, a couple of them in fact, in a row, but Central Buck South is going to see this one surrendered. So we will go to a game 5 that means a lot. Match point will be available to whomever wishes to claim it. Oh, and that is kind of the defining moment end to end of this pitch of what game 4 was.
Yeah, very much a great example of what game number 4 was the representation of. It's a close one down on one side of the pitch, and because of how much pressure needed to be put down from CB South, that third back just a little too far forward, all you can do is sit there and look at it as the ball gets past you, crosses your own goal line. And you mentioned another dominant win for Boyertown, which I think is important, because CB South, their wins have felt like they've been more squeaking out their dubs, whereas Boyertown, when things are hot, seems like everything's working their way.
Well, let's not forget, literally a game ago, it was the same score, just on the other side of the orange and the blue. So the game number 2, yes. Game number 3 was Boyertown just completely collapsing on themselves. And Central Buck South, I think, finally saw the firepower that Boyertown has been just throwing out there the entirety of the regular season. This time there was a greater share of responsibility between all the players from out of the Bears. And for Central Bucks, they just couldn't really get much going. WAF, I mean, he had a pretty similar score in game number 3. This time around, though, he had Ryder and a bag of Skittles. I think the comms were much more online of what they wanted to do offensively forward.
They definitely need to find ways to be a little bit more efficient over on that offensive side as CB South if they're going to want to take down this Boyertown squad. There's one thing that we know for sure here in game number 5 is one of these two teams will make sure that they're one game away from that championship of their conference here at the conclusion of this one. Who's it going to be? Well, only time will tell. It feels like the tides have started to turn in favor of Boyertown once again, but I mean, there's still so much Rocket League to be played. I
think they're finally also welcoming to a solid series. Every other series for the regular season was, in fact, a sweep. This time around, they are, in fact, being challenged, trying to get one more to go, and that is Shoddy with a putback clapper. That is going to be CB South first on the board.
Nice job for the Titans here, who played much of game number 4 from behind. They will be the first one to strike blood here in game number 5, and I think that's huge for the mental. Now you try and find a way to double things down. Boyertown, I do believe you had mentioned, you know, has kind of met their point in this series where usually they're the ones controlling the pace. They're having to go back and forth, where some teams, that first test can be really struggling. It puts you under your back foot. You can never quite really gather the control again. It feels like here they're doing a good job of at least being able to keep themselves in it.
Yeah, like game number 1, I mean, it was CB South that was able to score first, and then Boyertown proceeded to get 4 in a row. Central Bucks has definitely challenged the earnest pace as well as just general control of these games, and when they challenge early, they have to force WAF to do something very, very similar. Just dropping into the back box. Depth 7, he's gone a little bit quiet, and a lot of reliance is kind of rested with Shoddy, and that's not at all a negative because Shoddy has been a great shot caller as well as a just control artist when it comes to possession. About a minute and a half now, Depth 7 is just going to extend this pitch, giving his team some time to really spread out.
90 seconds gone by and back and forth as the pendulum has swung through the first 4 games as we continue to see a lot of the same thing. Shoddy almost finds the raindrop shot from distance, but it's still pressure forward here for CB South. Boyertown struggling to find a clear this time around. Bag of Skittles along with Ryder stuck in the corner, which means not as much space being controlled by the defense. Depth 7 pokes it towards the side wall. WAF will at least be able to use the big pad they just picked up to try and find a way to advance this ball, but Central Buck South continue to do a great job of keeping Boyertown pinned back.
Very creative way to still maintain possession as that ball started behind WAF and then he was able to still complete the rotation around. Central Buck South is starting to scare me a little bit. They still have this 1-goal lead, but they're starting to clump up. Boyertown, as much as they are, they're acutely finding connections for every time that they rotate together, and that is the difference. Central Bucks has to rely on a little bit more of open space. Shotty will be over this ball, just as Ryder tries to get up underneath him. WAF is going to aim to lift. He fakes out. He goes under 1. He's got a teammate. They might be able to strike it, but he just wasn't in the same step that he was thinking.
I like the idea, though. It's definitely the right passing play. Just unfortunately not quite able to dial it in. But you keep looking that direction. Something tells me one of those is going to end up with the goal on the back end of it. It'll be a bag of Skittles sending this one forward. Popped right back up for WAF, who will be able to dunk this one home. And with 2:08 left to play, we'll be all tied up at 1.
That was a great challenge out by Bag of Skittles, and WAF and Bag of Skittles will commit to it. Not any boost, doesn't matter. They had at least 1 man left, and so this will tie up this game. CB South sees that one go end to end. This is a possession play. They're trying for a Spanish kickoff, see if they can be able to take this possession. BGZ wheels, and that will squirt off of them. Shoddy will find that challenge, and that one will rain against the Bears.
Well, just as quick as we did see Boyertown be able to tie things up, CB South able to put themselves right back into the lead. 2:02 left to play here, though. Does still mean there is plenty of time to see this lead go back and forth a couple of more times, but the pace of play has been a little bit different in this series. It does really feel like it's about which defense is truly able to lock in, and a costly mistake here from CB South will allow for Boyertown to tie it back up.
That one from off of Ryder, and yeah, you get everyone basically on this near side wall and post, and just nothing was coming forward and out. So, but this has become very scrappy, Q. Boyertown is just finding what's available. Central Bucks South is having to rely on these short moments of offense, whereas WAF and company, I mean, they're just highly reactive but speedy to the ball. Suddenly it's Wheels that is just all by his lonesome for all of a single moment. WAF wants to slow this ball down. He's only got a flip reset left to go, but he gets everyone baited for CB South to slow down.
Step 7 looks to poke this one away, but it's a bag of Skittles who will be able to keep the pressure forward. Here for Boyertown, Shoddy rises on up. WAF with the whiff means 2v2 down here on this side. 51, there's a chance here. BG Wheels can rise on up, but it's WAF who will be the first one to it. Second effort is, no, actually, hold on a second. Actually, it's a swing and a miss. Means this ball's still stuck down inside the blue half. BG Wheels looks to go on the attack. It's the help of Shoddy who will pop it up. Flip reset, potentially no, just enough to at least send it off of the back wall, but WAF will eventually find the clear.
Oh man, CB South again, they're just eking forward, trying to make sure that third man is just enough outside of the midfield line. And a couple times could be taken advantage of. What a challenge! That one will make its way through as BGZ Wheels. Look at this one, just slapping his way in. You had this teammate challenging right there. Shoddy getting enough in the way.
Whether that was intended or not on the bump for Shoddy, it works nonetheless, as that does allow for CB South to take the lead, and we'd have less than 60 seconds left to play off of the kickoff. He'll be able to at least put this ball slightly into the blue half, as WAF will look to chase it down. BG Wheels scoops it up down on their side, but is unable to keep the handle. It's going to be a shot that comes across. Step 7 finds the save, but it's WAF back in the corner, looks to put it down for another attempt towards the middle of the field, but the defense for CB South continues to stand tall.
Need to be primed, because as soon as you get challenged, especially with this narrow of space, CB South will be vulnerable. WAF is trying to find himself. He launches over a teammate. Everyone from Boyertown stuck in the corner, and a bag of Skittles looking like they were the last man on deck. This one's going to come out for the 45, a chance, but it's picked up by Shoddy. 3 seconds to go. Boyertown might see this one stolen away, and it's going to drop to the grass. WAF has to keep it alive. His teammate can't track after it. Match point available first.
CB South are able to put themselves one game away in a hard-fought victory here in game number 5. They were able to control the field slightly, despite the fact that Boyertown had the lead in the possession game. But I think the big thing for me is seeing the stark difference in the shots. 14 for CB South as opposed to just 3 from Boyertown.
That is absurd. Considering the amount of times we saw them upfield, they just never gave themselves a true plethora of opportunities. Where Central Bucks South, winning by volume, seeing if you can be louder and more present than your opponent. And considering 65 ball touches and 49 from Bag of Skittles and WAF reverse respectively, considering that over what you got from Central Bucks South, they obviously had the possession. They just couldn't take an honest threat.
And that's a big sort of win to put yourself onto series point on the back of. Your defense showing that it can hold the line. The offense showing that it can continue to apply pressure down on the other side as well. We'll reset the scores back to 0 as we do take to the pitch here for game number 6 and see if Boyertown has the ability to send us off a Champions Field.
It would be an absolute upset if Boyertown were to go down, considering their regular season record going 5-0, then going 6-0 with that extra semifinal. Central Bucks 2-3, finally even 500 just now after winning over Twin Valley. This would be a monumental moment for this program, and CB South knows what it means to try and take advantage of this extra point that they have over the Bears.
I mentioned how CB South looking to win multiple titles on the day, potentially trying to start with one here, and it's going to be BG's Wheels who will find the lace first as the Titans put themselves in the driver's seat.
Often when they have scored first, sans that first game, they've been able to win their games, but it's been Boyertown that have been pressed to get faster faster, and they've been able to do so. WAF is still playing kind of like a lurker between both Ryder and a bag of Skittles, and that's exactly where they need him to be. Just one solid challenge, and we'll be tied up within the first minute.
He's a big boy, says WAF, as he moves forward, and he stuffs this one across the goal line. And while it will be a bag of Skittles who will be credited for the goal, WAF did pretty much all of the work there. One goal apiece through the first minute of play here in game number 6. A bag of Skittles has an open opportunity. Swing and a miss on that one. Friendly fire, but WAF does not whiff, and Boyertown have the lead.
What? The bag of Skittles did the equivalent of putting their name on the group paper just a little bit ago with WAF. WAF this time takes the real credit, as this is a loose ball, and they knew that this would be a great shot opportunity. They just had to wait on the timing. Even with 2 defenders coming forward from out of the Titans, it was all of a wait and see. Central Bucks South, they have a chance to maybe do something similar. WAF will take the medium route, which is exactly what denies the early possession, and Boyertown is now trying to see if they can just at least survive this next offensive onslaught. WAF doesn't have anything in the tank. It's a handoff to bag of Skittles.
An awkward touch here. It will be Ryder who eventually picks it up and will head towards the sidewall. Picks up the big pad and will still keep the pressure forward with the assistance from WAF. It'll be a bag of Skittle who settles it down and makes sure that Depth 7 doesn't get the clean advancement of the possession, as Ryder will retreat back, and someone from Boyertown, anyone looking to be able to pick up the possession, as it feels like a very messy play deep inside of the blue half. Eventually Shoddy picks it up, is over one defender. Can you settle it down for the pinch for the shot? That sails wide.
WAF is able to easily just read that one out. Even with all the extra extension from out of Shoddy, this one's simplicity and motion. Having to force a game number 7 to win what was otherwise a perfect season. Still, instead of perfection, they can still make it undefeated. Boyertown 2-1 right now in game number 6 on Utopia Coliseum. WAF trying to get a lot more oomph into that ball. See if we can be able to lift it up. We're just before we're the midway mark here of game number 6. To have a lot of players in the same spot, and this ball is just bouncing into the corner.
Good for Boyertown, as every second spent down on this half is less chances that CB South will get at it and try to find the comeback here in game number 6. It will be Ryder who tries to keep it alive in the orange half. A bag of Skittles will lose to 50 here, as Shoddy will look to go on to the attack. It's a low 50 attempt, but unsuccessful in that regard. Step 7 still advances the ball forward here for the Titans, but the problem here for CB South is these touches continue to be these big booming touches, and they're just a tad bit high off of that shot. Let's call that 2 from Depth 7, as well as WAF jumps up and it finds the denial.
Any more accuracy underneath the bar there, Q, and we were looking at a tied ball game. This is a completely different mechanic and a different identity if you're able to at least make that one. Ryder from off his own backboard. Shoddy's a step too close. It's becoming weird for the Bears. Boyertown at least will able to fend it off for now. A bag of Skittles oversteps Ryder, but Ryder's in the right place at the right time, and somehow that collision, that concourse of consecutive events will allow the boys in blue to get out.
Well, 90 seconds left here in game number 6. Boyertown still going to be in the lead by 1. Big Wheels trying to find an exit out of the orange half. Will not be able to find it here. Eventually, it's going to be a big touch from Shoddy that sends it all the way down towards the corner. Follow up from Shoddy. That shot just off of the post. Big Wheels. It's a pass towards the middle. Ryder will be able to get enough to at least advance it towards the midfield line. Boyer Depth 7 is lying in wait for CB South. They've been meeting with that resistance around the midfield, but it's WAF carrying it from coast to coast, and it rings off the post.
Oh, they have to go kind of that medium procession as soon as they lift it up, whereas the CB South Titan is just flying on by. WAF wants to lay it up. He's just burning time. 40 seconds. This is running towards their own net. They can't connect. Depth 7. Somehow, end to end, we're tied.
Watch how this happens here. Depth 7 just trying to find the clear as a touch that finds its way over WAF's head, who's screaming back to defense and just can't get there. And we're now into that silver goal territory, which has to have them worried on the Boyertown side, especially when Shoddy can do just that. And now with less than a whole full minute to play, it's now CB South back in control.
This was looking like the Bears were going to force a game 7. Everything has folded. The middle of that offense completely opened up a gap. Central Bucks South from off of the kickoff might be able to do it again. You have a half minute remaining. An undefeated season. Central Bucks South trying to go on the positive side of 500 in the championship.
Hold on, coast to coast. Had the chance here for Boyertown, and it feels like if they were going to tie it up, it had to be there. If not, Bag of Skittles is going to get one more crack at it. We'll lose the handle. Ryder might be able to find a shot, but we'll lose the 50 in the clear. Should spend just about all of the final seconds. One last send into the orange half, and with zeros on the clock, the ball touches down, and the Titans from CB South will be your Dutch Division 1 Rocket League champions.
4-2 over the undefeated Boyertown Bears. They find their first loss in the fall, and it's in the championship. Oh man, the Bears having to finally deal with their mortality. The reckoning came in the form of some Titans. You know, they were made in the to be able to take down Olympus, and well, I think they can take out some Bears too.
Well, they are the Titans, the mighty Titans. Oh yeah, or something like that. Big win for the squad from CB South to be able to start off what could very well be a long day of lifting up some trophies for the CB South squad. I think they're fighting for 4 or 5 of them things on the remainder of the day, and for Rocket League to be able to take down Boyertown is a heck of a way to start it.
Boyertown looks like they're going to be bridesmaid, not the bride this time around. It looked like they just didn't have the same kind of oomph that we saw during the regular season. WAF obviously a massive component of what made them special, but CB South going from 2-3, getting through that semifinal, upsetting that number 2 seeded position, and then doing the same thing to the Bears. They go 4-3 in the fall to take this one. CB South has a special program.
Yeah, definitely gonna be excited to talk with their squad a little bit here on the other side of a break, pick their brains, figure out what changed, as well as to see how they're feeling after the victory today. If any of the yelling that we've been hearing next door is indicative of anything, we know they got to be feeling pretty darn good. But we're gonna go ahead and take ourselves a quick little break. We'll have that winners interview, and then we'll be on to Division 2 for some more Dutch Rocket League action over here on the Esports Company Twitch channel. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. And we are back, and we have crowned now a 3rd champion here at DeSales University for our conference championships for the fall of PIEA action. Our Rocket League champions here from CB South. We've got Dep7. Dep7, how you feeling today, big dog?
I'm pretty good, you know. Confidence was there with everybody with the game. You know, everybody was locked in the moment, and, you know, we came here to win. That's all it was.
I love it. I love it. The one question that I really wanted to have, we saw that during the regular season, y'all kind of snuck into the playoffs at 2-3, but then y'all turned the corner, obviously able to win your semifinals matchup. You win your finals here. Was there a turning point over the course of the semester, or was it just really about kind of getting the chemistry together with this team?
I'm going to be honest. Honestly, for like 2 or 3 games, we had 2 people playing with us, so it was a 2v3 all the time. And
okay.
we had my friend, BGC Wheels, Brandon, who came in clutch and helped us. But, I mean, honestly, you know, we practiced more, got in the motive, we learned each other's play styles, and that's pretty much what happened.
I mean, all 3 of you looked like you were kind of stepping up to the plate. That first game, you got the first score. That happened, I think, at least 3 or 4 of the 6 games. But sometimes you guys would recoil off of that. What's happening, I guess, basically into the comms? You have your play style that's happening, but sometimes it seems like there's some panic. That defense looked a little bit suspect to start that series off. What did you do to just kind of cool each other off, calm down, and get back into the right headspace?
I mean, honestly, like, you know, we were nervous. We were pretty nervous from the start. But, I mean, honestly, both of them were all electric, to be honest. All right. We're both electric, to be honest. And, like, but all we did was we kind of took a deep breath. We kind of calmed down. We took a little 2-minute break. That's all we did, to be honest. I mean, we have 2 great players, me and my 2 other teammates. We're all, like, you know, electric. We all are really good friends outside of this. And we're just kind of, like, guiding each other's, like, motives and such. But, I mean, it's a great team I'm playing with, and I appreciate them from everything I do.
Aw.
I love it. I love it. Well, Deb7, I know you guys have quite the support squad that are here in the facility. They were lining up outside. I felt like one of those big daddy moments. I walked out. We wasted the big surprise on you. But they were all there to give you your high five. So big shout out to them. But kind of want to give you the room to give a shout out to, everyone back home, teachers, friends, family that have been supporting you guys all semester long.
Of course, my 2 teammates, to be honest, they were probably the reason we've gotten this far. One of the teammates, Brandon, I said before, he came in late, but honestly, he was probably the biggest player. And honestly, without him, we'd be probably nothing. Probably wouldn't be in this situation. But shout out to my mom, my dad, and my dog, of course. But that's pretty much it. But yeah.
I love it. I love it. Well, Depp, we'll let you enjoy the victory. We'll go and holler at James here real quick. Go ahead and pass the mic on over to him if you don't mind. But talk about a story. Starting off the season doing a lot of 2v3s. But I think for you and I who have casted our fair share of those, know how frustrating those could be. Yeah. Can only imagine how frustrating it is as a competitor. So then to be able to add a third and then go on the tear that they have has to have them feeling pretty darn good. We've got James, it does look like, sitting on by here to chat with us. James, how you feeling today?
Good. How you doing?
Oh, living the dream, being able to walk away conference champions. I wanted to ask you, because you guys were in an interesting situation for CB South. Y'all have a chance to, I think, walk away with the most conference championships in a single session, right, that we've had here in PIEA. Did you guys, as the first team for your school to be stepping up to have that chance to hoist the trophy, did you feel like there's extra pressure to be like the tone setter for the other teams that are coming to the stage here shortly?
Oh, really? I just felt like that we had to set the tone, and we did. We did set the tone.
Johnny, when we saw you out on the pitch, you definitely looked like a handles man. You're trying to be able to keep possession. You're trying to be able to trick people out there. You were making them look silly at times. Did anything come into full focus of how you had to play? It looked like it was you versus WAF at times, going into big duels, trying to shut all those mechanics down. What was kind of your focus through this championship? You guys were able to come back and deny the game 7. Kind of just walk me through the general series. Like, how did you feel end to end?
Well, we knew like the WAF kid was like the best one, so we just had to be faster than him. If we were faster than him, we were chilling. We were good.
Seems like a simple solution, and they came in and they were able to execute that to a T here for sure. Before we let you go and join the rest of the teammates to enjoy your victory, any big shout outs you want to give to anybody that's watching back home here, Shotty?
Shout out my mom, my dad, my sister, my brother, and especially Ryan Weiner.
I love it. Ryan Weiner, big shout out. One of these days we're going to hear a dad get the shout out first before the mom. That's a little just personal feeling as far as for me. But yeah, big shout out to the family back home. James, congratulations on the dub. We'll let you get back off and celebrate